Hello there, MegaMogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. And today I'm going to feature Vladimir in a top tier competitive deck. Yes, you heard me right, Vladimir the champion in an actual high tier list. Now this is a completely different shell than what I've showcased Vladimir on before, as I've played him in basically the Crimson self-harm archetype. I showcased a video with this deck yesterday. Today we're going to play him in a completely different shell, one that I've mentioned in the past in which Vladimir could potentially shine, and that is the Noxus Piltover Aggro archetype. Yes, today we are going face. We're going to face and face and face some more, or I guess Nexus is the proper way to say it. We're going to try to kill our opponents as fast as possible before they get to do anything. And we're going to be doing that with this deck right here, which we have 12 1-drops. The best ones available from both regions, in my opinion. Legion Rearguard, Legion Saboteur, Precious Pet, and Teemo. And a very fast-paced deck that has the ability to end the game with burn spells such as Mystic Shot and Get Excited. So what does Vladimir do in this deck? Why would I even choose this champion instead of stuff like Draven or Jinx or other stuff like Darius, which we usually tend to see in this archetype, if they're using any champions at all? And the answer is Vladimir has a really neat ability that enables us to finish off the opponent once the opposing player has started developing a solid board of blockers, right? Once they have a good amount of units on the board to stop our attacks, we can play Vladimir and use our little dudes that are flooding the board, go for an attack and deal up to 5 damage directly to the Nexus. I think Vladimir fits this archetype really well as a super reliable finisher that does require you to have somewhat of a board state, but if you do manage to preserve 2 or 3 units, he can really just close in that last amount of damage and also generate this and deal this damage before the actual combat happens, which can enable you to also trigger lethal before the opponent's lifesteal units block onto your units, for example, because there's a lot of fringe case scenarios in which that is actually what's happening, right? And Vladimir really does solidify himself as a finisher in this archetype. I like him a lot also with the used cask salesman. Many people say he looks like me. I disagree. I think our noses are very different, but I guess if I wore a hat, I could cosplay this guy. Why not? I love his lines. You know, it did inspire the name of the deck. Haha, no refunds. You know, he says it better. But yeah, this guy is very shady, and he sells you casks. I don't know what these things are for, but people apparently buy them, and they buy them a lot. And his are not really good quality, as they just burst at the end of the turn and deal 1 damage to not only your opponent's Nexus, but yours as well. It is a symmetrical effect. But one of the neat things about the used cask salesman with Vladimir, besides the fact that this guy is dealing 2 damage with these casks, like this guy does see play in pretty much every aggro sort of like Noxus Piltover deck, but the synergy goes even further with Vladimir, as he gives you 3 bodies. You can actually attack with these casks even though they have 0 attack, and as you attack with them, Vladimir can capitalize on them and deal 1 damage to the opposing Nexus as you ping these casks and destroy them, and thus deal the damage before the end of the turn, which is when they tend to, you know, explode, right? So the synergy is really neat right there. These 2 cards combine very, very well. And then on top of that, we have 3 copies of Crimson Disciple, which also loves Vladimir, as Vladimir can come onto the board, ping her, and we deal 2 damage directly to the enemy Nexus whenever she receives damage, which is why we're running alongside 2 copies of Brothers Bond 2 transfusions, which can also work really well with this 2-drop right here, and just allow us to bypass certain sources of removal like Mystic Shot and push for more damage, as we have a very, very early game sort of driven curve. And obviously, you know, the rest of the deck is pretty self-explanatory in that sense. What I also like about this deck is we have a one-off of the Funsmith, and this is not a meme choice. This is actually a legit use of Funsmith, as we can basically enhance the damage dealt by our spells and skills by 1. And people don't realize that she not only works with Mystic Shot and Get Excited to deal, you know, extra damage with them, she also makes the Legion Saboteur and the Boom Crew Rookie deal an extra source of damage as they attack, because these are also skills. And you know who she also works really well with? Vlad himself, because Vlad is also a skill. The Crimson Pact specifically will deal 2 damage instead of 1 for each attacker. So that will basically inherently duplicate the amount of damage Vlad is dealing when Funsmith is on the board. And all these reasons basically warrant her as a one-off in this deck. We don't want more copies of her because she can be a bit clunky as we draw her in the early game. And we already have a full set of Vladimir, which is more important. But in certain key scenarios, she can be really clutch and provide us with quite a bit of extra damage that can go a long way potentially to victory. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the deck list right there. So if you like just full-on aggression, not letting your opponent breathe and killing your opponent as early as possible, also what is in reality a very solid deck choice against a lot of the metagame control driven decks, then this is a good choice for you. Though this deck is vulnerable to strategies that revolve around standalone, for example, with lifesteal units. Early lifesteal buffing sort of mechanics can be absolutely brutal for us. And the Karma deck, while it is a control deck and rather slow at that, does have the Dark Water Scourge. And if they manage to play that alongside the Death Mark, they can have a very early on a 5/5 with lifesteal that is just too much for us to handle. That's the big weakness with this deck, lifesteal. If a deck has lifesteal, we are incredibly vulnerable to it, but even then, they have to draw those certain cards. And one of the cool things about this deck is in case you're really, into climbing the ladder as fast as you can, then a deck like this is really neat because even if you win or lose, games are over really quickly, so you can have a much more efficient laddering process if that's what you're into. So without further ado, I'm going to showcase some live recording sessions that I recorded today. And hopefully you guys enjoy the games. Hopefully you guys enjoy some good old Vladimir Funsmith action, as I did manage to get some games to showcase that off. And that's all I gotta say, man. Stay tuned for daily Legends of Runeterra content. Thank you for the support. I'm talking very fast. I don't know why, but I will stop. And I will see you tomorrow. Here we go. So right off the bat, we're facing Juntaki. I played him earlier this morning. He was top 40, and I think we debunked him a little bit. This Elusive matchup is definitely threatening, so we're gonna go ahead and drop these 2 Mystic Shots. Precious Pet is the ideal 1-drop for this matchup because they always tend to lead off with either an Elusive 1-drop or the Omen Hawk, which means this guarantees we will be able to apply pressure. And I also like the Crimson Disciple as well because it is one of the better 2-drops to play in this matchup, as they have a lot of chump blockers. So turn 1 Precious Pet, we definitely expect an Omen Hawk or yeah, something like that. But Precious Pet, like I said, is the better 1-drop here. While Precious Pet is the worst 1-drop when we're facing decks that don't tend to do anything in the first couple of turns, in this particular case, it's great. Like that's why, because we're basically playing all the good 1-drops in this deck, we can see in which matchups some shine and in which matchups others shine. It's that English. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the Crimson Disciple there. I have a Transfusion backup here, which makes me want to play Teemo and attack. Is Teemo worth it here? Is it worth it for me to go for the Teemo play? I'm honestly not sure. I think open attacking is better. Because my opponent could have dropped a buffed up Shadow Assassin, and that would be problematic.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm gonna play another Crimson Disciple here. This could be a really good hand for reporting in. This could be a really good hand for a Vladimir. This is an excellent game for Vladimir if we have a full set of Crimson Disciples. If I could draw Vladimir in these next couple of turns, that would be really big. Teemo has more of a defensive role in this matchup.
Shh, quietly. Don't ask how I got it.
I'm gonna play the Disciple again.
Let me show you what I can
keeping the Transfusion open.
Strike quickly.
As we try to use you as a blocker. Our opponent may try to protect this. Or not. As now we'll be going for Teemo again.
Nothing like the great outdoors.
This would be the best turn ever to top deck Vladimir. Vladimir! Vladimir! There we go.
You must be Lord Vladimir.
No Will of Ionia? No Will of Ionia, please. No, no, no. Oh, this is rude.
My turn.
What was that with all this?
This one's trouble.
This is still a lot of damage. That's rude. We're still getting a huge hit here.
Look what you.
And we do have Teemo as defense. And we can try again. Vladimir, just by playing Vladimir, we get double transfusion here, which is really neat. We want to block here.
Spoil the surprise? Let's get a good look at
Really
you.
intrigued as to what he plans on. What could he have here? This seems like a crazy attack. Okay. Okay. Well, we're gonna go with this. That was pretty wild. I guess is what he had to do, but this is huge for us. We get to hit him there. And drop your boy again.
You must be Lord Vladimir.
You must be.
Did I reveal the fact that I have another one here? I may have. I may very well have here. Do they have another Will of Ionia is the question. We don't care. We go.
Won't find better this side of the sun.
Because, you know, the salesman here.
These are dangerous lands.
Maybe I should have opened attack there.
Delish.
Who would that? Eyes open. You call that sneaky?
No refunds. No refunds. All right. Now, in retrospect, you know, I wanted to showcase the salesman Vladimir combo there, but perhaps going for an open attack was just the better plan. Even though we were looking at quite the extra damage there, like 3 extra damage. I mean, like I said, at that point, it doesn't matter if he has the Kinku Life Blade. He's not playing Demacia, so there's no judgment or anything, like, there's no threat of that kind, right? So I'm gonna kill him anyways. He could have like Will of Ionia, but he didn't have the mana for. Did he have the mana for Will of Ionia and Kinku Life Blade? Maybe that could be a thing. But then again, I just played the Casket Boys. I don't attack, and I Mystic Shot him. So yeah, that was fine. I got to showcase, you know, Vladimir as a finisher in that game in our first match of the day. So I'll take it. All right, so good old Karma Lux Control. I really like this archetype. It's my favorite. My favorite region combination to play Heimerdinger in. I love combining Heimerdinger with Lux. These two together are really neat. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the Crimson Disciple. I'm gonna keep the Brothers Bond and the Boom Crew Rookie. Boom Crew Rookie is one of the best 2-drops in the game and the best 2-drop in this deck. So unless we have other stuff like, you know, double 1-drop to follow this up, we generally tend to follow this with a rookie, especially because this sort of matchup, unless we are worried about a succession. Thermo? Okay, if Thermo Beam happens, then we don't have to worry about a turn 2 succession with his carryover spell mana, which means we can very safely drop this Boom Crew Rookie and lead to 3 damage onto a point. We also have Vladimir into Funsmith, which is really exciting.
Just gonna put this here. Time to go.
Nice clean hit. Yeah, Vladimir into Funsmith is really exciting, though it may be a bit too slow here because turn 5 onwards is where, you know, my opponent starts doing very spooky things. All right, this is a session. I'm gonna play the Legion Rearguard.
Where's my axe? For the fallen.
I want a Brothers Bond here. The problem is my opponent could have a Mystic Shot. What else could he have? Mystic Shot based. Purify as well. Purify would suck. Purify is very likely. Purify is super likely. I'm gonna do this instead. I don't want to buff my rookie and then get purified here. Instead, I'm gonna develop another threat. Then I'm gonna spread out my menaces. English.
Me.
Interesting. Alright, he's going for the monkey over there, which means we're doing this. And this. And this. No, again, I want to play around Purify. Let's not use the second one.
Hope this works. Take my helmet.
Take my helmet. I could have looked for 2 more damage with this, but I think we're fine. There's the Heimerdinger. Let's play the Funsmith actually.
Give me a weapon, I'll give it firepower.
She's a little cuckoo. We don't judge though. There's a flash of brilliance.
Round and round and round it goes.
We don't want to waste our Mystic Shot and trade it for a Prismatic Barrier, so we're never gonna take the priority with this. Okay, so he does that anyways.
My most groundbreaking invention to date.
Okay, that's a little bit reckless.
That's always been there.
Getting rid of Heimerdinger is really good.
Unforeseen outcome.
Even though that's really good damage that we could use towards his face, I am okay with this. Funsmith can lead to some serious damage here. I wanna... Okay, so in what case is this better than this? None, right? So let's drop you first. Let's be subtle about it.
I have my orders.
Let's play the Saboteur first.
I got the goods.
Now let's play Vladimir.
I'd never keep my guests waiting.
This is super powerful. So let's do some basic math. If we go for this, right now, Vladimir will be doing 6 damage to their Nexus. You will be doing 9 damage, 11 damage. This should be.
Don't be calling no enforcers.
Time to go. Backfired.
Just borrow it.
That's a big hit. Don't get him. Okay, for a second I was like, oh no, not the life linker, not the life stealer. Right, he's down to 3. That was pretty sexy. That was a huge hit. Now we just kind of like need to spread out, buy some time, not have him have lifesteal.
Seems to be the problem.
Uh-oh. He's asking what the problem is. He's asking what the problem is! Okay.
It's smaller than the diagram.
Alright.
Cavalry to the field.
We need to chump block here. And I believe eliminating this is of our interest. And that's pretty much it. We gotta survive. We gotta survive, and we gotta find. Actually, keeping that body would have been good. Oh, never mind.
Let me show you what I can do.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
My turn.
Bottoms up.
Meet them head on. Do your worst.
I realistically should not have chump blocked this. I had to keep Vladimir in mind. God. Never punished. Woo, alright. Game 2, I showcased Vladimir and Funsmith together. Even though I kind of killed my own board in the process, but you guys saw, like, she duplicated everything. It was amazing. Like, 6 damage off of Vladimir, then 3 an extra damage off of, so 3 off of the rookie and 2 off of the saboteur. Just so you guys understand, that would have been regularly 3, 5, 6, basic math. To it was from that to 11, correct? It was 6, 9, it was to 11. So she added 5 damage. So a little, like a decimate with a body. You know, that's pretty good. I think it warrants her as a one-off at least. Alrighty, good old Shadow Isles mid-range, I believe, with Elnux. So the worst of the worst. That's all I gotta say here. The worst of the worst. I believe Teemo may be the best option here. Let's take this mulligan. You got the same shit. I think I'm gonna lead off with I mean, she represents the most damage, right? So I may as well drop her in first.
I have my orders.
I could just go for a clean attack here. That would represent 3 damage. But then again, if he does play an Elise, Vile Feast is a big problem here. Vile Feast is the issue. It is what it is though.
Reporting in.
We're not gonna attack with the Saboteur here.
Armed and ready.
Mom spaghetti. If we open attack and he had Vile Feast, the difference is we would not have gotten any damage on him this turn. So I stand by just playing into that turn. Like, Vile Feast was the worst case scenario. It happened. It is what it is. We gotta take it and move on. I'm gonna drop Grenadier here, as I can use this Grenadier to trade into that, get 2 damage off on him. Still hold on to her. Is that a Black Spear? That's a Black Spear. Alright.
Just trying to help.
I know, Teemo. I know. Oh my god, it's heartbreaking whenever I hear that. Just trying to help, man. He didn't do anything wrong. Teemo did not do anything wrong. We're gonna play you.
First big mission.
Rookie. Hopefully no Wraith Caller. There's the Elnux. The opponent seems pretty confident. I mean, to be fair, this is not the ideal startup for us. Like, Vile Feast into our triple 1-drop. And Black Spear to finish off our early onslaught. Him only being at 17. Even though we do have 5 puff caps on him. Like, no bueno. A 4 or 5 blocker is a bit too big for us. I'm trying to see if there's any way I can navigate around this. I think it's just not worth attacking right now. We have to try to build up a little bit of a board and see if we can Vladimir our way out of this. There's the troops, of course.
First one's free.
Salesman is pretty decent here. Buys us some time. I can trade into you.
Break it, you buy. No refund.
Oh, he's down
Where's my axe?
to 15, but this is just not enough progress. Vile Feast is so strong against us. So strong. Yeah, I was waiting for something like Crimson Disciple to get my transition started. I mean, like, I would like to have a Teemo so I can start, you know, bypassing his defenses and getting some damage off on him. That would be neat. Right now we're looking at 3 damage here, 5 damage in total, so we could easily drop him to 10. We could go for 1 attack here.
Light the fuse.
And preserve our rookie.
Look what you did.
This allows us to preserve our rookie, unless our opponent does that. Which, you know, at the end of the day,
Time to go.
We exchanged 2 cards for 2, right? Like we got 1 Elnuck out of the way. Still not really ideal, but he's down to 11. And yeah, 11 is still a little bit too high. Even if we do find like Vladimir represents 5 damage alongside the 1 attack from the Saboteur, so 6. Even with Vladimir, we still have 5 more damage to go. So basically, the ideal scenario here is we draw into Vladimir, and then we draw into a get excited over the span of the next 2 turns. In that case, if our opponent doesn't kill us before that, we may win. Crimson Disciple also works though. Like maybe this into a Vladimir top deck can bring us back into the match. We're not like vulnerable this turn to die unless we see a Hecarim.
I don't bite.
And if he attacks with Elise, we will certainly be blocking with our...
Let's get a good look at you.
I could prevent him from drawing, but that's not realistic.
You dare!
I actually need... Oh, plus drawing, you know, may be good for us. I forgot about the mushrooms. Alright, so... Step number 1. Draw Vladimir. Go, Vladimir. Go! 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 Okay! Alright.
You must be Lord
Alright.
Vladimir.
And you must be.
Step number 2. Don't kill my Vladimir. Step number 2 was pretty crucial. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty important. What can I draw here? Is there anything I could actually draw that would... Not really, right? I really needed Vladimir to live there.
Come here, darling.
Alright, we ping you down 5. GG. Good game. Maybe there was an argument for preventing the card draw. Maybe they did not have a vengeance if we didn't give them the card draw there. Ah, but that's like the ultimate hindsight 2020, right? If he doesn't have the answer there, that Vladimir represents. That's just actually game. It's actually game. We attack with Vladimir. We ping our 2. We ping our 2 Crimsons, and then we Mystic Shot for the win. Oh man, that would have been so good. God damn it. All right, so Draven versus Vladimir, I guess. The movie. Let's keep the Boom Crew rookie. I want to keep the brothers. Do I want to keep the brothers bond in this matchup? Transfusion seems like it could be more useful actually, because of the health gain, providing us with surprise trades. Obviously, I would love to draw into like the billion 1-drops that I have in my deck. Thank you.
Where's my axe?
Reporting in.
All right.
I'll do better this time.
So, rear guard deals a lot of damage early on. It's a big hit we take for the 1-drop, but we're just gonna go ahead and drop rookie.
Of course I'm ready.
Who does not like people doubting him?
You'll never know what hit him.
Well, I didn't do anything. I hope this works.
You roll this.
We even the numbers here, even though our opponent attacking first definitely makes a big difference here. Brothers Bond is interesting. We have quite a few cards here that... Do I just take this hit? I drop down to 11. That's dangerous. If I do this onto you, then all he needs is some sort of... It's a good defensive play, though. But this does leave us open for a Mystic Shot onto this, though. This is interesting. I think I'd rather keep Teemo, honestly. I could just block the view.
It wasn't me.
I think this warrants this.
Backfired.
We go down to 10 here, which sucks. But at the same time, we eliminate his own rookie.
Reporting in.
And he doesn't have any blockers here.
I'll scout ahead.
Time to go.
It's pretty big.
More mushrooms.
More mushrooms! That's pretty big. 10 pump caps on his deck. Ooh, play something, play something, play something, play something, play something. Yes!
Secure me tight.
Yes! No refunds!
I'm better this side of the stump.
I'm better this side of this stuff. I don't even know what that means, but hopefully my southern accent was pretty good there.
I'll do better this time.
Whew, okay. Let's block it to you, you,
Maybe you need a closer look.
and let's just hope for no might. Pretty simple. All right. Someone's low. Someone's very low. Oh, the mushrooms! You're playing with fire! You're playing with psychedelics! Don't play with psychedelics, kids. I can't even talk. Funsmith. Funsmith, I believe in you. Oh. Why not?
Give me a weapon, I'll give it firepower.
Got him. Got him. Oh, that transfusion. That transfusion was so clutch. It was so important. It was actually so important. It just goes to show how, like, health buff can also really go a long way in an aggro deck. Obviously, for resilience reasons. Holy crap, that was actually a very tight game. True O-Devil. And he's playing Ezreal combo. I'm only getting everything except the Legion Saboteur, as we just get one drops the movie. So the plan here is very straightforward. We are vulnerable to stuff like Static Shock with this sort of hand. Like, Static Shock can actually get insane value against this. But we are going to lead off with the Legion here, as she does provide us with the most amount of damage. Thermogenic Beam will stop us on our tracks.
I have my orders.
But we got our orders, and we are optimistic. Perhaps too much so. Alright.
Damn it.
Damn it, indeed. Turn 1 Thermo. Say no to our hopes and dreams. Funsmith is interesting.
These old eyes still see
Far and clear. Well, that tells me to drop the Precious Pet and Teemo, as both of these can ignore
homestead.
the Avarice and Sentry.
2, 3, 4.
With Fearsome and Elusive. I'm worried about an Archer, so I'm going to go ahead and go with this deck. Go for the 3 damage here. Alright. Teemo. Teemo!
Explosives primed.
Honestly, like, Archer, would Archer have been the worst deal in the world? I think we could have played the,
I got ways to find me mushrooms.
could have played that there. Let's just pass here.
In Avarosa's name.
I think we take the hit. I think we always take the hit. We're drawing him more cards by letting We'll take that. We've got no damage on him, which is terrible to say the least.
It's not exactly legal, but it is exactly awesome.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. Our opponent was able to completely counteract everything we did there. Like he was able to thermo beam our unit early on, and we just have not been able to apply any sort of pressure. He is running a little bit out of gas though, which is important to note. We don't have an opening right now.
This'll shake him.
Ready the torches.
I'll protect the villages.
Light the signal fires.
Of course I'm ready.
Still not quite able to find the opening. We're gonna play the Gradier. Man, like no damage. How like we got no damage on this man. It's kind of crazy, ain't it?
Draw.
Try me.
I hope this works. Backfired.
Run while you can.
I can do this.
We're so far behind. This is crazy. Like we're supposed to be aggro deck here, and we're not doing anything. It's depressing.
Light the fuse.
Still 3 damage. We can drop him down to 9. We need to be more patient if we want to have a chance here. We need to we don't depend completely on the Funsmith here. Cry every time.
Better run.
Can play the Grenadier, but this
Nothing
game's over.
escapes my watch.
We got no damage in. We got like nothing, which is kind of crazy because the Ezreal matchup is not that bad, but he had everything. And maybe I should have been like, but it's not like it would have made a difference. We just could not break through. He had all the units early on to just stop our onslaught. Man, I tend to do better in that matchup. That was a rough one. This guy took out Ezreal and put in Tryndamere? That's weird. I have no idea what this is. I do know what to do here, and it's mulligan everything in hopes for, you know, a hand with like actual 1-drops and stuff, but that's so weird. That's so strange. I have no idea what this deck is about. Regardless, we're gonna lead off with the is he playing Omen Hawk? He could be playing Omen Hawk. I'm gonna play the Precious Pet. Because this pretty much guarantees, unless there's like a thermogenic beam, this guarantees damage. If he has like a turn 1 Omen Hawk.
Knocked and ready.
We're gonna go with House Spider, as this completely shuts down his attack. The next turn, we're honestly gonna go triple 1-drop. I mean, what are we worried about? Avalanche? Yeah, Avalanche is actually a very legitimate worry. The question is, do we play around it? I don't know what I'm facing. I don't know what this deck is, but I assume it's focused on the late game if it has Tryndamere as a potential win condition, so I assume they're playing Avalanche. If they are playing Avalanche,
Another day in the field.
we bait it out with Teemo. Alright, now we attack.
Swiftly.
We're not gonna play more into this because an Avalanche just completely ruins us.
My life for Avarosa.
And we go for the transfusion. Woo!
More mushrooms.
More mushrooms! 5. That's wait. We got a bit to go, but down to 12 is nice. Did he have Avalanche? Did we play around Avalanche? I'm pretty sure. Oh. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, the Elnuks. Ladies and gentlemen, the Elnuks are coming. I repeat, they're coming.
No one's the wiser.
We take the hit from this. Like, we don't ever block here.
Reporting in.
I could have played the, no, if I play the cast salesman, he doesn't attack anyways, so I don't get to play more. Oh boy. Anyways, we open attack here.
Never know what hit 'em.
Because Avalanche or just Triple Velnux exist, and we want to get as much damage as possible. The greed, though. This man just wants all the Elnuks. This man wants all the Elnuks just for himself. After 2 of these? Really? That's kind of depressing. Now, ain't it?
Give me a weapon, I'll give it firepower.
I'm gonna play the Funsmith. I already have a pretty developed board state here. Ooh! 11. I go down to 5. I probably need to block a little bit here. 7. Go down to 9. Let's play it safe. Let's play it safe. We eliminate a blocker that way anyways.
I'd never keep my guests waiting.
And we go Vladimir now. And Vladimir dies now. Well, can't blame me for trying. Another Vladimir? I guess that kind of works too.
Armed and ready. Locked and loaded. Behind ya.
We'll go for the attack as we got the salesman in the back. Harsh winds. So you're kind of dead.
Damn it. Outdone.
First one's free.
First one's free.
Let's make a deal.
Yeah. I live, you die. No refunds. Got him. The greed, though. The greed. Oh my god, that guy. I was so confused because this is like, you know, Frau Jordan and Piltover. That tends to be an Ezreal show. When I saw Trindamir, I was like, what's happening here? Is he maybe like an overwhelm sort of deck? But no, he just wants all the Elnuks. He wants all the Elnuks and then more Elnuks. So, I think that's both an actual victory and a moral victory at that. I'll take it.